My legs were, I mean, you couldn't eat enough salt, you couldn't drink enough water. It was just, so I wasn't sprint finishing, not a leg.
Chairs are out there like that. I guess.
How you doing, Kevin?
Huh?
How you doing? Good. Nothing ibuprofen can't kick? Tylenol too. Oh.
Just basically,
Good.
just basically Tylenol.
He wasn't riding his bike stuff.
Okay. I'm just glad we have soft chairs around here.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I just don't get how nobody can create better shorts.
Oh, yeah, you take it.
It's so much down to the person. It's like the saddles. Some people have really cushy ones, some people have hard ones. You got to find what works for you, and then that's it.
I haven't changed my seats, but I got 3 different pairs of shorts. I can't find one that,
I do pretty good until
you know, they're good for about 5-10 miles.
I lay down.
And then there's just one spot that just,
It's chamois butter and time. You just
Oh,
have just working into it. I hadn't ridden in a month. I can tell.
yeah. Well, I finally figured out the blood sugar thing. And I just heat it up with them. Oh, and they're in the hiking on them cliffs, gummy shoes and the Gatorade ones.
And the chews and the gels tend to kind of absorb quicker.
Yeah, those are what I survived on.
I like beef jerky and peanuts and things, but they take longer to soak in.
They also take a lot of water.
But sometimes you need that salt.
Oh, I don't disagree. Jason's probably out of here. Jason, 7 o'clock.
Call this meeting to order.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Pipia, Fry,
Present.
Schroller,
Here.
Hughes,
Here.
Bikeman, Price,
Here.
Barons, here, Crum,
Here.
7-0.
Okay. First up, approval of the minutes. Anybody have any changes, corrections?
Move to approve regular minutes of the August 23rd, 21 meeting.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I
Diane?
didn't have a change, but under street crosswalks and lights, I don't think it's 15th and Center. I think it's supposed to be 14th and Center on page 5.
He
Understanding committee
did
reports.
say 15th and Center, and we figured it out for 14th.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next up, we have the minutes from the special meeting on August 31st.
Make a motion to approve the minutes on the special meeting, August 31st, 2021.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion, changes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
6-1. Okay, next up, we have the public hearing.
No, special meeting one more time.
Oh,
Those ones that I gave out.
which one's that?
On Friday then.
Oh, okay. Special meeting on Friday, September 9th.
Make a motion to approve the special meeting on September 9th, 2021.
Second.
Okay, any changes, corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
6-1. Okay, now we have the public hearing on, first up, we have the KDHE application public hearing documents.
You just need to ask if there's any comments against.
Okay. Are there any comments about the public hearing concerning the KDHE application? Okay. Make a motion to approve that.
Approve each one of them.
Okay. That one right there. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the applicant assurance of public participation for Kansas Water Pollution Control revolving loan?
Need a motion? Move to approve Kansas Department of Health and Environment assurance of public participation, Kansas Water Pollution Control revolving loan projects.
Got a second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next up, we have the KDHE certification signature letter.
Move to approve Kansas Department of Environment certificate signature letter.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have the KDHE KWP CRF application signature.
For lobbying.
Is that what the lobbying? Oh, no.
Move to approve Kansas Department of Health and Environment KW CRF, application signature.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have the KDHE lobbying certification.
Move to approve KDH&E lobbying certification.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next up, we have KDHE Resolution 2021-20.
Move to approve KDH&E resolution 2021-20.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? 7-0. Okay. We'll now close the hearing for the KDHE application. Let me sign all that stuff first, probably.
We don't have to
We
because
don't have
she's
to.
not waiting.
Oh, that's true.
We'll do it when she's-
Okay, we'll move on then. Next, we have public comment. Is anybody here for 5-minute public comment? Just state your name, ward, name, address, and ward.
Hi, Jada Ackerman, 1200 Park Place, Ward 2, and I'm going to take about 45 seconds of your time tonight. I want to show you my quarter. You can't touch this quarter, but you can look at it. It's the same on this side as it is on this side. Special quarter. And normally those quarters don't get released from the mint with mistakes, but this time it did because there's a coin shortage across the country right now, so they didn't have time to deal with fixing both sides. So, I mean, maybe some of you are questioning if I'm being honest. I mean, fact is you can see one side, right? That should be enough. I'm telling you I'm honest. But what if that's not enough? What if the people that elected you to your position want you to question me, to see the other side, to take a look? What if they want you to validate what I'm saying? The truth is, the seats that you hold belong to them. They don't belong to you. The decisions that you make in those seats should represent what they want. I held public office for 9 years. I get it. I understand the position that you're in. What do? Do you trust me? I mean, you can see this side of the quarter. I'm telling you that both sides are exactly the same. Or do you listen to them who's saying, question her, show both sides? If I were sitting in your seat, I would do what they asked because they're who elected me. And I would say, maybe I need to see both sides of that quarter because guess what? There's two sides.
want to start off by reading a letter I received today. My name is Tyson Anderson. I live at 1203 Park Place, Ward 1. I am devastated I cannot be here tonight, for I am in college and do not live at home during the school year. My heart is breaking ever since I heard the news of what has happened to the chief of police, but not for him. My heart does not break for my father, for I know he strengthens himself through adversity as a true leader should. No one said my heart breaks for the soul who doesn't know what an amazing police officer and even better human being looks like. To say my father has a positive impact on this community would be an understatement. He has dedicated his life to his career and has touched so many lives in the process. He has had to sacrifice so much for this town, such as time with family, personal time off, and even family vacations. Yet the people that should have his back are the ones that cannot be trusted. The amount my father has offered to this town is immaculate. He donates his time off to work events, takes time to talk to people in the streets, and takes time out of his personal life at home to take phone calls. I've never known my dad not to be a cop. I've always been proud to tell people that my dad is a police officer. Because of the impact that his job has made on my life is why I've chosen to go into the law enforcement career. I've always been proud to tell people that I am from Marysville. I think it's an amazing little town with great people. But today I'm not proud to call this place my home. To see people wanting to take away a community-leading figure like my father is gut-wrenching. Most of you here tonight will know the impact my father has had on this community, and some of you may have seen it firsthand. And to those people who know what I'm talking about would agree with me that this town's rightful chief of police is the most upfront, honest, and trustworthy man I have ever met. And if some of you up there tonight were the half a man he is, then I would not have to write this letter. Sincerely, Noah Ackerman. I've prepared my own comments. I stand before you in support of Chief Ackerman. I would encourage anyone else in the audience to step forward and speak or simply state their name and echo their support for our chief. For 22 years, Chief Ackerman has served our community honorably, with honesty and integrity, and with the betterment of our community in mind. Chief Ackerman is more accomplished as an officer of the law than anyone in the room in their respective fields, making him an asset to our town. He was the youngest president and only Kansas law enforcement executive to have ever sat as president of the board of the FBI LEDA, which is the Law Enforcement Executive Development Association that has members from across the United States and 15 foreign countries. A person can only accomplish such a position through building tremendous amount of trust among their peers. The same trust has been built by Chief Ackerman in our community in the 22 years he has served. Truly, I wonder why we deserve such an individual to lead our police force and feel a deep sense of gratitude and pride in him as a leader. In addition to his services as chief, Chief Ackerman volunteers countless hours of his time to our community, from helping with the Big Blue Barbecue, the Mother's Day Market and Chicken Dinner, Rotary, coaching kids wrestling, and calling every home football game, to name a few. Again, demonstrating the lengths he goes for the betterment of our community. I'm embarrassed and dumbfounded at the actions taken to remove Chief Ackerman from his position on Friday, September 3rd, with absolutely no reason or just cause given. It is your job as City Council to do what is in the best interest of the community, and allowing one individual to have sole power to fire whom he wants certainly is not in the best interest of our community. Given your poor sense of judgment as a taxpayer, I am very concerned as to what a wrongful termination suit will cost this community. I am appalled at the lack of leadership exemplified by this council and how easily you've been manipulated by the current city administrator and the direct control over non-elected personnel you have given him. I, however, appreciate Councilmember Hughes for asking that this power be discussed and ruled on by the State Attorney General's office, yet cannot understand why this request was simply swept aside. Furthermore, I agree with Councilmember Schroller in wondering why we even need a council when the power has been given to the city administrator. You as a council are elected to do a job and have taken it upon yourselves not to do so. I demand that this council move to reinstate Chief Ackerman to his position as Chief of Police immediately, as well as rescind its decision to pass Ordinance 1900, giving sole power over non-elected personnel to the city administrator. In addition, given his desire and quest for ultimate power, I would encourage this council to remove the city administrator from his position. If this council fails to do so, I pray after the November elections, the newly elected council has the spine to do so.
Hello?
My name is Sandy Schmitz. I live at 1309 North 13th. I run a store downtown. I've known Todd since he was a little boy. I am a friend of their family. I am a neighbor. I'm a friend of his mother's. I've never known a finer guy in town. And I've had 2 grandchildren who have had drug issues, who have been in trouble with the police. That type of a situation. There was none other finer police officer to help them, to guide them, to help them with their problem. Also, they're encouraging my one grandson to start his own group for Drugs Anonymous, or whatever you want to call it. I just think there's no finer man in this town for this job. I love him very much, and I love his family, and I think you just have to do the right thing. I don't know I don't know about the problems. I don't know any gossip. I don't know anything about that. I have nothing to disagreement with anybody here. But I think you know that he is a good man, a good police officer, and thank you.
First, I'd like to start off by saying thank you for your assistance with the wall. We had between 8,000 and 9,000 people attended the wall. Thank you very much for all your assistance in doing that.
Well, thank you for bringing that to town. I mean, you guys did a lot of hard work bringing that here.
It was worth it. Now, I've known Chief Ackerman since I was 9 years old. I've worked as a police officer in this town for several years. Street department. I don't live in town. I've moved to the country. My wife was city clerk or deputy city clerk for 34 years, so I kind of think I paid my dues and I can talk to you. You will never find a better guy. I am proud that him and his brother followed in my footsteps. We talked about it before they did this, years ago. And I said, go for it, guys. It's very rewarding for you guys. It has been for me. I miss it terribly. When I left Frankfort, it kind of hurt because these people, I see a lot of my kids here. They were this tall when I was working, and I dealt with a lot of these people. I've known them for years. I've known a lot of you guys for years. I think you're making a mistake. I don't know what it's about. I know Todd to be a very diligent officer. We worked through Hunter Education together many times, many classes, so I know he works with kids. He's given me advice at times when I had a problem in Frankfort. He would come along and say, Dean, I can help you work through this. He helped me set up the SOP for Frankfort. They didn't have anything. They had to have. So guys, I think you ought to rethink this. You're going to lose a good man. Thank you.
Michelle Weitzel, 1604 Calhoun, Ward 1. I stand with Chief Ackerman. And I also would like to state, for those that are curious, this council meeting is not currently on Facebook Live right now. And I'm getting messages from people that wish they were here, and it's not currently live. So it would be great if that could happen.
Kyle Garacki, 1307 May Street, Ward 1. I would like to echo many of the sentiments that have been expressed out here tonight, and I'm sure that will continue to be expressed. I stand with Chief Ackerman. Many of you may not know this. My wife and I, Brittany, are about to have a son or daughter. We'll find out. Our due date's March 2nd. I am not sure what I can do to raise them with honesty and integrity and transparency as a son or daughter and a father, mother, if the people who we've elected in this office cannot be transparent or open or honest with us. Thank you.
My name's Maria Seamatter, address 1102 Elm. I don't even know what I was going to say before I got up here, but as I'm watching each of your reactions to the people that have elected you, to this council, Todd, thank you. Diane, thank you. Terry, thank you. Jason, thank you. Keith, thank you. Parker, thank you for giving us your attention. Austin, I haven't seen you look up except for now. These people that are getting up to stand in support of Ackerman, or not support Ackerman, whatever they choose, they deserve your undivided attention. Thank you.
I got it. Oh, yeah. Hey, Austin, is Facebook fixed?
Yeah, I got it
Thanks
fixed.
for fixing that. That's what he was doing, looking down people. Yeah,
Can
ask
I?
him.
Hello?
Taylor Douglas, 901 North 10th Street. I am so very disappointed in the fact that such a small group of people get to decide what happens to the chief of police of a whole town. It should be up to the people, and there is no one that is more Marysville than Todd Ackerman. I stand with the chief of police, Todd Ackerman, because this man grew up here and decided to come back and work for this town, and he has done nothing but stand up for the people of this town, stand up for his own employees of this town. Most of you know my father, Terry Douglas, and he would have been the best advocate for Todd Ackerman because he knew how great of a chief he was. He knew how great of a police officer he was. And there is no one who upholds the law and is more fair than Todd Ackerman. And the fact that you have just decided that he is no longer fit for it is not okay, because he has volunteered so much of his time, not just to the police department, but to his community. Like everyone else here has said, he's done nothing but volunteer in this town and try to make this town a better place. And I don't know why you wouldn't want someone like that in your corner and standing up for your town, because that's all he's done. And all I would like to say is I hope you decide that the right decision is to reinstate Todd Ackerman, and decide that it should be the people of Marysville that decides the employment of who is protecting them. Thank you.
Jennifer Craig. I actually don't live in the city, but I still want to speak. I was the executive director for the Kansas Association Chiefs of Police. I was the first female director in the state. Todd Ackerman was on my board of directors and on my hiring committee. First and foremost, the only reason I even live in your community is because of Todd and Jada Ackerman. They are the ones that brought me into this community, encouraged me to be part of it, to get involved. I now live here and I'm married and have my children in your school system. And what I want to tell you from the law enforcement perspective is you are not going to find anyone better. He may disagree with some of your policies, and you know what? That should be okay, because maybe what he is representing out there is different than what you perceive behind this desk. Across the state, he is more than well respected in the state. And many of these men and women in blue would stand behind him, beside him, in front of him, given any second, any moment. He is well respected nationally. When you go to these national conferences, he is not only a trainer, he is a speaker, he is a friend, he is a mentor to many of the law enforcement up-and-comers. And so I would encourage you to really consider the steps that you guys are considering to take with this position. Because in this day and age, it is incredibly difficult to find someone who has been and will continue to be as committed to their community, to a small community like Marysville, to the people and their families, and to the up-and-coming officers that are willing to come into the career field. Thank you.
Hi, Jamie Anderson, 1203 Park Place, Ward 1. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a preschool teacher up at the school, and so even if I don't know you, I get to know your little people at school, your nieces, your nephews, your grandchildren, children, and thank you very much for allowing me a few minutes to speak. Obviously, you all know who I'm here in regards to, and I'm not going to take time to list off accomplishments and accolades, mainly because my time limit would not allow that for me to do it justice. But I will ask you just to look around at the faces in this room that are your constituents, literally the faces of your city and your community, here passionately in support of this person. I moved to this town 6.5 years ago, and I've loved it here ever since. I have been Marysville's biggest cheerleader in encouraging young couples and families to join our community. I have brought many, many people to town, telling them how great it is. I have immense pride in this town, and today I truly stand here ashamed of what is happening and ashamed of leadership right now. I'm ashamed that this city that I truly love, that I honestly call home now, don't even call my hometown home anymore, apparently holds little to no respect for loyalty and for time served. Recent decisions have been made behind closed doors without public knowledge and seemingly without given reason. I'm not dumb enough to think there are not reasons this has been done. I'm not. But this is not how it's dealt with. Those reasons should be given. Power should be shared. It should be 100% shared with people that have investment involvement and relationships within this community, which is lacking in some people. I know that at least 2 of you council members have had concerns over the recent ordinance passed, and I know that because I'm an avid reader of the newspaper, because I get my news that way. And I truly thank you for voicing those concerns. That's how I knew about what's happening, that there were concerns about it not even seeming like we had a council anymore, and even asking for legal advice on this decision. I appreciate your honesty in looking into that. But I will say that the recent ordinance passed and the recent personnel decisions that have been made are breeding a lot of mistrust in this town. Anger and shock and doubt are really starting to take root in your community. I know that some of what has been decided has been deemed a matter of trust, and I think I speak for everyone behind me that I truly mean that there is only one person in this world that I trust more than anyone else, and that is Chief Ackerman. Literally with my life, literally with my children on a weekly basis. That person is who we're all in here support of this evening. He is a true pillar of the community. I heard his voice over the loudspeaker at the football game while I was walking in here. Like, while we were walking in here, you guys, that's huge. Someone people feel comfortable with talking to. Why? Do you know how people have called me before and asked for his phone number instead of calling 911 because they needed to talk to a police officer and they wanted to talk to him? That's why people talk in our town, is because of who it is. Who it is. People feel safe with him. He's literally dedicated his entirety of an adult life, the entirety of an adult life to this town, who can be found in every corner and facet of our community, whether it be school, community, or simply having a relationship with, do you see the ages in this room? The walks of life, business, everywhere. What incredible qualities for a person or a leader to have. Being a preschool teacher, I admittedly have little knowledge of city code. I'll be the first to say that. So following my gut feelings, of anger and shock and disappointment, I was prompted to do a little research. And upon reading the code of ethics that our government and city administrator is charged to uphold, I felt compelled to share some quotes from our code, Chapter 1, Article 213. Section A states that the city government and the administrator is responsible to the people. It states that decisions should be made in the proper channels and that the public should have confidence in the integrity of its government. Section B states that the city government and administrator are agents of public purpose and hold office for the benefit of the public. That public interest must be the primary concern and private affairs set aside. So please explain to me and to this community how that code of ethics is currently being followed and upheld, primarily how our interest as the public is being held as primary concern. I honestly doubt that any of you up there, who all seem like lovely people, could honestly look me in the eye and tell me that recent decisions were made in the public interest of my city in mind, with the safety and well-being and trust of my family in mind. You can't. In addition, anyone can see the not-so-coincidental timing of recent personnel actions to a recent ordinance passed. Look at that timing and tell me this isn't a personal situation between 2, maybe 3 people. Look at the timing and tell me this is about our city and public interest. Issues arise. Things need to be dealt with personnel. I know that. I've been teaching for 13 years, and I know that things have to be dealt with in the workplace. But this is not how you deal with it, especially after someone serves you for 22 years. Thank you for taking the time to hear from myself and others. I have true love for this city, and being somebody that is around people all the time, I am truly discouraged to hear how people are speaking about what's happening in our city. Disappointment and mistrust are spreading rapidly, and I urge you as our city officials to serve your community and constituents with more strength and bravery, and to open your eyes to the support that is in this community. Because I know exactly where my trust lies, and it's the person whose name is a household name in many, if not all, homes in our community, and a person whose roots run deep and whose involvement, investment, and love for this town and support from the community and the city that you serve should really speak volumes. Thank you. Please do what's right. Thank you.
Hello.
My name's Rick Shane. I think you know who I am. I didn't expect to speak tonight. I was asked to come. You know, I spent 3 decades in local government. I have a lot of respect for local government. More respect for local government than I have for national government, but that's another subject. You know, I spent 17 and a half years as city administrator of this city. I came here in 1999. Todd followed me. Well, he was here already. He came on board in April after I came. I spent 17 years with Todd Ackerman. I'm aware of some of the issues that are going on behind the scenes. So it's no great surprise of what's going on, the trust issues, and there's a few other things that have happened. But you know, in those 17 years, I saw this man. He worked his butt off. Did he work an 8-to-5 job? No, he worked a 24/7 job. This man would work all day. He went to school down in Manhattan for I don't know how many years. Got his bachelor's, got his master's. And as Tyson said, he has a distinction of being the youngest man and the only one from Kansas to serve on the leaderboard. Folks, that's only for FBI graduates. And one of the things I did here, heck, I tried to get Todd to leave. Not because I didn't want to work with him, it's because the man's qualified to run a major metropolitan department. But you know why he stayed? He had other offers. He could have been a KBI agent. He had other offers that I'm not sure any of you may not be aware of. But he stayed because he loved this community. And he stayed because of his family and the community. Do I expect you guys to do something? You're going to do something. You're going to do what you want to do. And it won't surprise me whatever you do, because I worked with local governments for 30 years. I don't know how they work. Once their mind is set, that's the way they go. They don't care about all these people that love the chief that come in. You see it happen all the time. But I'm telling you what, if you don't restore him, he's going to he's going to be the one better off, because you don't deserve this man, because he is too good for this city. I couldn't get him to leave. I told him, Todd, you need to be somewhere else, man. You're too qualified to be here. But he stayed because he loved this community and the family, and he loved these people like this. So you guys are going to do what you want to do. I'd honestly be surprised if the public support really changes your mind. And I understand the issues here with the environment, and I understand Austin's point of view with supervision. I went through that. And even when I was city administrator, did I have the authority to fire the chief? No, there's two positions exempt. And that was the chief of police and the city clerk. And I learned to live with it. But I tell you what, I never had a problem with trust of the police chief. And as Jamie said, she trusts him fully. Your trust problems are not with your police chief. They're not with your police chief.
Anybody else here for 5-minute public comment?
We ran 10.
I have something.
It's
Nobody else does.
No, I spoke before you had it up. It's on YouTube. It's dual recorded. Yeah. But go on.
Nobody else for 5-minute public comment?
I have something quick.
Yeah. For 5-minute public comment?
Yes,
Okay.
just take a minute.
All right.
I'm Diane Schroller from Ward 4. Beth Skinner just called me, I got an email from Beth Skinner, and she was wondering if there was any possibility that she and Laura, if there's any money in the plant fund. I know we've exceeded our $500 from the gardens plants, but she and Laura have expended $411 more of their own money, plus all the volunteer hours that they have spent, many, many hours. And just wondered if there was any possibility that they could be refunded any of their money at all. So we can think about it. We don't have to decide right now. They'll have to get the receipts and stuff, but we might consider it. So.
Laura who?
Huh?
Laura who, so I can get the name?
You would have asked me.
I'm sorry. You can think about it. It's
Yeah.
okay. I just got to record it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Anybody else for 5-minute public comment?
And I would just like to know what Todd did that was so bad. Okay, tell
We
me.
can't comment.
Nobody can
Not
comment?
comment.
That's a shame because, his life is open to being questioned, and then you can't tell anybody, but that's okay, because we have our way to find out, I guess. We are in a small town. So when you all want to get elected, just remember. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Debbie Henderson, 1508 Park Place, and I didn't plan to speak either. But I just want to know, and you don't have to answer because I know you won't, but I've seen rocking and laughing, and I've seen, not wanting to look at the audience. Is it a personal issue? I mean, if it's deep down personal because you have an issue with the police chief personally, that you would destroy his life, this town, you better think about it, okay? Your heart will answer one day. It will.
I
I'm Kate Tomer. I live at 905 North 9th, and I'm Ward 2, and I support Chief Ackerman.
Anybody else here for 5-minute public comment?
Lori Douglas, 901 North 10th. I just have to say that at one point in time, my husband worked with Todd hand in hand to make the public understand that the police are here for them. And in one fell swoop, by taking away Todd's position, by taking him out of that position, you are destroying a lot of the trust that our community had in the police department and in the city council. And Todd has come every year that we've done junior achievement at the elementary school, and I've requested that Todd be the person who presents to my class because of his connection with those kids and how he encourages them to come back and be a part of their community and to be a bigger part of their community, even as an elementary student, to support, go to ball games, go and volunteer places. This man has given his entire life for this community, and I think he deserves the recognition by not destroying his name.
My name's Michelle Mintzmeyer. I do not live in your community, but I feel like I'm part of your community. I teach at the elementary school. My husband is a state trooper, and he has worked with Todd for years. And I can say I agree with all of the people behind me. You will not find a better officer than Todd. He is well known throughout the entire country, really. I mean, he has connections. And you guys, if we ask him to do anything at the school, he comes. If you ask him to do anything in the community, he comes. He is a good man. And he and Jada have been very good to my family and helped raise my son, basically, when he came to school over here. And it is very sad to me that you're destroying the reputation of this good town. This is a very good community, and a lot of people have wanted to come here. And just a few bad eggs is going to make a bad impression on this community. So I really hope that you reconsider what you're trying to do here and really do get the facts before you rule on things. Thank you.
My name is Hank Brucker, 1200 Debbie Lane, Ward 1. I've never come to a council meeting before to express an opinion because I didn't feel I had to until this day. This is overreach, people. This is dividing this community. Is that the intention? That's what's happening. Do you realize that? It's dividing this community, and it needs to stop. Stop right now. To Jada and Todd, the community apologizes for what's going on. This is an embarrassment. You can do something about it. I call upon you to do so. Thank you very much.
Anyone else for a 5-minute public comment?
This is taking a lot of bravery for me. First up, my name is Michaela Schell. What is my address? I live out in the country. Does that matter? I own a local business. I own 12th Street Liquor. I see all your guys' lovely faces there. I have seen also lovely faces of all the officers when alarms get set off, or we have something mishandled in the store, or where law enforcement is needed. And I think that we need to take a step back and think about what we're doing to our community. We have a lovely man to help serve in our community, and we need to make sure that we remain with him in our community and listen to what the people are saying. I mean, people care about what happens to this town. So if we can reconsider, I'm suggesting that is done. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else for 5-minute public comment?
Hi, guys. If my wife knew I was standing here right now, she would shoot me and you'd have to call 911. But I have cut Todd's hair for years, so I kind of get to know him. He's right there in front of me. And I remember telling him that I've considered, you know, getting the thing, you know, with the guns. And I've never gotten that program because Todd is chief, and I told him, you're protecting me, so I don't need to go do that. I've got a couple of 22s that ain't worth much, but anyway, I trust him with my life every day. And I leave my barber shop. By the way, I own Ryan's Barber Shop downtown. Some of you probably don't know that. I leave there with money every once in a while, you know, like daily, and I never have a bad feeling about carrying the money to my car because people like Todd and his officers are around and it ain't gonna happen. So he's got control of it. I mean, this is it. He's the man. So if you can find it in your heart to erase all this, this whole town will be a lot better off for it. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else here for 5-minute public comment? Okay. Move on to business and discussion items. First up, we have the homecoming tailgate, United Bank and Trust, on October the 1st.
Does anybody remember? They asked only to close by the north entrance.
I've seen that.
Don't they close the south entrance too? No,
They haven't
just
the
the
last
north
couple years.
and just to that half. Okay,
Yep.
I just want to make sure when I tell Gary where they need
Yep.
barricades. Okay. Just to that, where it starts to curve.
Yep. Move to approve homecoming tailgate from United Bank and Trust, October 1st, 2021 as outlined.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So no. Next, appointing 2 voting delegates to the LKM convention. And we've all, yeah, he's the one to go.
So I'm the only one going to the League of Kansas Municipalities conference. So unless somebody else wants to come down for the business meeting, I would suggest appointing me as the.
I nominate Austin.
Okay.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
So who else is supposed to go?
Well,
Was-
there were four of
I
us were
was.
supposed to, and we all
Rob and
backed
Bobby,
out.
and they all, because of that.
They sent out a notification on COVID, and basically it was, you're responsible for your own actions, and I think that kind of pulled some people back, if that's what I remember about the letter, yeah.
Yep.
So did we get a refund then?
Yeah.
Yes.
We had
Yeah, they
until a
get-
certain.
Yeah, they gave an extension
gave
on
until
getting
the
a
9th.
refund, yeah.
Yep, we got the refunds,
Oh.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
So I
not an
canceled the
issue.
rooms and canceled the reservations.
I was gonna say, I hope so.
They
Yeah.
gave us till a certain date and we could cancel.
They give us like till 14 days out or something. We
Yep.
canceled that last day, so. Next up, we have the fire department dryer proposal.
This wasn't included in the original,
No, we always were gonna buy it for, this wasn't
we talked
something that was
about it, but
included.
it was never,
No, we put it in, it's in the budget.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, but I mean, when we started out with the fire department, we discussed it, but we never
Put it in the building
put
itself.
it in the deal, okay.
Yeah. Well, what's your thoughts on it, Parker? Probably know more about it than anybody here.
My thoughts on it? I make a motion to buy it.
Okay.
There you go.
Second.
There you go.
Okay. Any further discussion?
It's like an industrial.
It's an air,
It's a gear dryer is what it is.
It's not hot, things hang in there, is that right?
No, it's not hot. It's, the heat breaks down the gear, so it moves air
Through it.
high volumes of air is how we should.
So like you'd put your boot, turn your boot upside down on the pipe and it'd blow
Yeah.
air through it.
Yeah,
It's
but
got
there's-
one for
there's a way for the-
4 or
the
6
coats
boots
to
or
sit
whatever
on
on
it
it,
and the
yeah.
pants to sit on it, because when you take a set of gear apart, you actually have 2 sets of pants, you have 2 coats, and then you got your hood, you got your gloves, and you got your boots, is what you got. So it basically, it's a way to dry all your stuff at once instead of individually.
Is there another little dryer for like smaller clothes in case you like get blood or something on them? I mean, is there gonna be a smaller dryer in there maybe?
well, I think that was the issue before, was how are you drying it, your
We hang
stuff
'em up.
before? Yeah.
We hang them up.
Yeah,
Takes a while,
if you
yeah.
hang them up, they usually take about 36 hours to dry.
That's still so big and heavy, you can't, throw it in the dryer. Yeah, Terry?
Here a while back, we did buy a dryer of some kind.
Washer.
We bought the
a washer.
washer,
not the dryer.
Year or
Wait a
two
minute,
ago.
I don't believe we bought the washer. I believe
I thought
that
we
we got a
did.
grant. for
With the grant,
washer.
Okay.
we bought with the grant, the
Well, I
washer.
don't care where the money came from,
Yeah.
but we did purchase something.
Yes. Yep.
Hey, clarity, so we have to make sure that we understand how the money came through. It came through a grant.
Right.
Was it
Right.
was some of it donated too? I can't remember.
No.
Not on
It
that
was
one?
all a grant.
It was a grant. It's not technically called a washer. What is that?
No, it's a washer, but it's a gear washer. It's a
yeah.
different type of washer than.
Extractor or something, yeah.
Okay.
So how many sets will this do then? I mean, how long does it take if you have a fire? How long does it take to dry everything from a fire?
This will be down to probably an hour to an hour and a half.
So somebody's gonna keep changing everybody's gear then?
Are you gonna have
That's
to?
what we
yeah.
do now. We only have, without taking you to the station, we only have 2 poles that we have to set up a chain to hang stuff on to dry, and you only can fit about 2 sets of gear there.
Oh, well, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, that's what I mean. We've been doing stuff, getting by for so long. That's what people don't realize.
well, I mean,
And it's like if you got a big fire and your gear's wet, you're going to work in wet gear. And it chafes in places you can't imagine. And
No,
when it's 0 degrees out, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, this will definitely speed up the process.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'd probably be able to wash, you probably can wash majority of the fire department's gear in a day if you stay on top of it. And what we do down Diane is, somebody's washing gear, you get a text that, hey, your gear's hanging up, my gear's in the washer, and somebody runs down and we just keep rotating through and switching them out.
okay.
Yeah, it's,
So everybody has 2 sets of.
no, you can't afford 2 sets of gear.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next up,
On your desk. Daniel.
yeah, Daniel.
Daniel's up finally.
Quickly.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As part of the application for the wastewater treatment, a few of the things, glad to hear you got the hearing and all those components done. One thing that we typically suggest is to have your agreements put together for the design and construction services. And apologize for the tardiness of this. Hope to get it to you last week. Our review process was a little hampered at our firm. Effectively, the high points, the one major thing I want you to understand, it's written in the document, this is a contingent. You can approve it, but it is written in, it is contingent upon you guys receiving funding for this project.
Receiving what?
Funding for this project. You're on process with the SRF program, but obviously we're shooting for the grant dollars through CDBG as well. So that is an important factor. Within, at the end, the exhibits, Exhibit A, I've included, that is a requirement for SRF funds. I do not know, actually, I never asked Amanda if she has the design services on the grant side or the city side. But either way, it would be, this would meet KDHE SRF if you so choose to utilize those funds for that. The values included within are, for the design services, are $260,000. And the construction services and construction engineering components are $215,000. Any questions on the design? I do want to talk a little bit on the construction services side.
We really didn't have much time to look this over.
No,
since we just got it, so.
it is fine. You do not have to approve this tonight. I would suggest if there's questions or whatever, you would want to have it approved before, at your next meeting.
The next meeting's okay, because she had told me Friday we had to have it.
Well, when's the application is?
She was
Thought
gonna
it was
shoot it in right
the,
away.
see, originally I was shooting for your next meeting anyway.
I don't know, that's what she just told me, that she needed it by Friday.
In regards to, well, you could do a couple things. Within the motion, I definitely, if you do so choose to do a motion, I do want you to also reiterate within it that it is contingent upon the funding. That's one thing. You could also reiterate, if your city attorney has not reviewed it, to have the city attorney review. It's the same, I'm going to call it legalese, I'm not an attorney, but the front end of it is basically the same agreement that we've had with the city on numerous projects. So the construction engineering side is for $215,000. We're projecting that for a work period of 180 working days. We're going to be bidding two separate projects, but hopefully having them both going at the same time. We call this part-time. And the reason why that we call it part-time, I don't want that to fool you. When they're here working, we will be here. If there's particular items that we're all comfortable with, that we don't need to be up here and charging you an hourly rate, we will let you know that, and we will not charge you. This is not a lump sum for this, it is an hourly service. So if we're not here as many hours, we do not charge you. We only charge you for the services that we provide. So I guess other than that, those that's the one thing I wanted to say on the construction engineering. We do put in there part-time because we're not gonna be up here every time they're up, you know, maintaining their equipment or something. We don't need to be here doing that, so. But this does include the entire project that we've discussed, the screening, the lagoon expansion cell, the wetlands, and the associated lift station and force main to the wetlands, so.
You didn't get hold of her?
You want me to try to call her?
I'd say try and call her and find out. I'd say,
Or can you text her? Or
Yeah,
I
that'll
don't know. Just say, when does it need to be in?
because if not, you have council wanted to have 2 weeks to look it over.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
What did you say you needed a motion for?
If you so choose to move forward, it would be to approve this agreement between, or with BG Consultants. But I would want you to, within that motion, to include the contingent verbiage. And if you want to look on, it'd be page 15, towards the back, Exhibit 3. You could start with that bold section. You could approve it and contingent upon the confirmation of project funding is how I always want you guys to have that actually in the motion, although the verbiage states the same.
But we want to do that before asking our lawyer?
No, you could also include within that a contingent upon your attorney's review and approval.
Okay.
And I would suggest doing that because likely they haven't had that opportunity, but. And if there is something that your attorney comes up with or words that we need to massage or something, we can definitely do that.
Can we just table it?
We're trying to figure
We're
that
trying to,
out.
we're
We're trying
trying
to
to
figure it out
text
now.
Amanda
Find
to
out when
see
she needs
if
it.
she has to have it by this Friday.
Because you really probably don't want it.
She's the one who spurred us into this.
Yeah, we don't want
Yeah.
to hold anything up, but
I actually thought the application was on the 30th, so it would be after your next meeting, but.
I don't have a problem.
I just want to find out when the application's due first.
Austin, can you go on the Commerce site and look up what that application
Yes, I can.
date is? I'm sorry, I was thinking it was,
She just made that comment when she sent this to me, so.
No, and that's fine. That's the reason to
Nope.
just do this and find out.
I know.
She wrote hi Cindy, so
Well,
she's got it.
Mr. Mayor.
yes, Terry.
This is all gonna be contingent. We can include the fact that if the attorney finds something wrong, why don't we go ahead and get this satisfied?
And you can do that if you want to. I mean, that's
We don't
fine.
have to worry about talking to her now, because it's all gonna be,
I just didn't know, I mean, I didn't know if some council
if
members
that's your
wanted to
only
review it.
concern is having your attorney, I 100% would ask that you do include that contingency on the approval, that your city attorney would review it and approve it.
well, for a second, you can head on down the road that way.
Either way,
Which one am I looking for?
the water, wastewater, Commerce,
Or is it isn't it KDHE or?
no, it's
we're
CDBG. The SRF has already gone in and
Okay.
I could,
it's my understanding.
we can just make this easier. I make a motion to approve the design and engineering agreement with BG and Consultants contingent upon getting funding and approval from our lawyer.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
Okay, well, and
She
I
has
think,
to have it by the 24th if they want to be part of the CDBG.
September 24th.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
So, yeah,
So,
the day after
okay.
our meeting.
Okay.
So we do need it.
And if any of you go through that and you've got questions, let Austin know or your city attorney but like I said, it's pretty straightforward in that
She
regard.
doesn't like to wait to the last minute, so.
I know, me.
Yep.
All right,
All right.
is that it? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, nothing under notices and hearings. Next up is the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, any discussion about anything on the consent agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next up, we have appropriations ordinance number 3755.
Move to approve appropriations ordinance number 3755.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion about anything on there? Roll call?
Pipia, Fry,
Yes.
Schroller,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Beichman.
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Throm.
Yes.
7-0.
Right. Staff reports, Austin.
All right, first thing on my list, this was the last year for our current auditor and their contract. So I went out to bid last month for auditors, sent out like 5 or 6 different organizations, got 3 back. Our current one, which is James Gordon Associates, submitted. Shipley CPA, he actually split from James Gordon Associates. He did our audit for 2 years as their lead guy for James Gordon Associates, and then Varney and Associates out of Manhattan. Now, you could do this a couple different ways, however you want to. These are all, at least 2, James Gordon and Varney are well-established. Shipley, we know what he can do. So I would trust any one of these to do our audit. One did submit the low, but Varney and Associates, if this matters, also does the county. So if you want somebody different than that, you can look at either one of the other 2. But I've worked with Varney before. They do good work. Russell with Shipley does good work, and no, I'm forgetting. Jacob does good work as well. So any of these could.
So we have no concerns with the last 3 years on the previous?
No.
Not with either
And
Russell or
Shipley
Jacob.
did 2 of those?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
Not this last one, but the 2 before that?
Yes.
Because that's when he went on his own. That's
Did he?
correct.
Didn't he do part of?
Actually, he kind of started it,
He kind of
yes.
started it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so he did.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
So he.
Barney's did the before.
No, Varney's has never done
Barney.
our audit.
Oh, okay.
That was,
Reese
what was that?
Nobali.
There you go, Reese Nobali.
Oh,
Were they 4 years ago?
Yes.
Is that the
Yes.
previous contract?
Yep.
but they weren't asked to bid, or they didn't bid at all?
They went out of business, didn't they?
Oh,
Yeah, there was something.
They had some issues. They were the ones doing the county when that all blew up.
Well, I mean, I know Shipley's a little higher, but I'm inclined that if he's been involved the last 3 years, I mean, it seems like there'd be less explaining and less.
Well, the only thing I know is that at some of those classes, they always said, switch up who does your audit every so many years.
Hey, what, Jason? Can't hear you.
You switch up who does your audit you don't want your employees building a relationship with the person that's auditing.
Right.
There's a logic there.
Nothing
Yeah.
against our employees. But,
Hey, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea.
Just get me a good auditor.
Fristed eyes.
Well, that's why people change insurance companies. It's the same thing.
Right. Well, like I said,
I make a motion, we go with Barney and Associates.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
6-1.
All right, next thing on my list is financials. General fund is still sitting at $1.1 million. We spent about 54% of the budget for the general fund, and we are 66% of the way through the year. Waterfront saw an increase in expenditures due to payment of the water line project, and sewer funds saw an increase due to payments to Agland for lift station maintenance and in situ form for lining the sewers. I think that's the last payment for in situ form. They submitted their documents, all the videos and stuff like that. Sales tax fund, actually, sales tax receipts saw a decline from last month. We got a little over $130,000 in sales tax overall, compared to like 4 months in a row where we got 150,000. 130 is right where I see our normal sales tax, so that wasn't too big of a deal. But sales tax fund saw an increase because we transferred money from the swimming pool fund to pay back the sales tax fund for paying off the swimming pool bonds. So that increased the swimming pool fund, or the sales tax fund, by quite a bit. So. Any questions about that? If not, then that was all I had on my list.
Okay. Next up, standing committee reports. Anybody have anything on street?
Yeah. When are we gonna seal streets?
Possibly Wednesday to start, and then they were gonna take a break. Probably wasn't gonna chance doing it during the garage sales, because we got pushback.
Most communities do this when it's hot. We're
Right.
down to 54 degrees now at night.
Right.
The streets are cold.
Right.
We need to have this done way earlier than September.
The question you're looking for is, why is it not done?
Well, as I mean, we had some, early on in the year, we had some issues with employment, not being available, potential health issues and stuff like that. Were interfering early on, and then I think middle of the year, we had talked about it, but it wasn't a viability to get it done. But
If you listen to people talk, the asphalt or the street needs to be warm so it gets down in the cracks. We're waiting too long to get this applied.
Mm-hmm.
The streets have cooled off now. I don't know.
Well, that's
Are we
why.
gonna waste our money spraying, I guess would be my next concern.
No, that we've already sealed the cracks,
I
and then
understand
this
that,
this
but we're
puts the
still-
coat over it.
But any micro cracks, the oil would have got down into when it being warm.
No, like I said, Wednesday they were gonna hopefully get one shoot done, and then we got another shoot, one more shoot after that.
Well, I think we need to always make sure from now on we have it done by Labor Day.
Okay.
But it's still hot out.
Train going by?
No,
It's that goofy fan up there.
cleaning the air.
It's for cleaning the air, yes.
You still on streets?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have one thing, I've had two people call, one on the north, they figured maybe the street sweepers broke down.
Nope.
Up there on the north end, up close to where we got all the storage up there, in that area, 9th, 10th, right in there.
Okay.
The leaves are piled up in the corners and stuff, haven't been swept all year. It's been a long time since anybody been
It's
up
probably been a while. We got one street sweeper, and it goes out every week.
there. Is that 24 hours a day?
No, we don't have the staff for 24 hours a day.
Well, they were concerned that they weren't getting their share of sweeping. I only wanted to bring it to your attention.
Okay.
We still doing Frank Marshall Drive this year, or is it next year?
I think it was, oh, I didn't have my budget book on me. I think it's next year. Yeah, because we did 12th Street. We were supposed to get it, I forget if we've gotten it designed because of the stormwater issues.
Yeah.
So we have to get it designed first, so it's.
That's the last
it's a
I
next year.
remember is that they were designing it, yeah, take care of that
Remember that
stormwater.
now.
Yep,
There's water underneath the street and we gotta solve that.
yep.
While we're still on street, I've had somebody ask me about the 400 block of Alston is on the long distance replacement list. It's one of the concrete blocks that's pretty chunked up. I mean, it can
My
swallow.
street.
Is that your
I
street?
live right on the corner of 4th and Alston.
Pretty big cracks, swallow a bicycle tire big, maybe. There's maybe a street or two that are worse, but
The problem down there is where the concrete and the bricks meet is where it makes it rough.
yeah, I don't know.
Right on the corner of 4th and Alston.
And the solution to that is, I think, putting those stops in. You know what they do is they pour basically a little footing at the stop, and that
I think
holds
so.
the brick, and then you pour
they
back
put
to
it-
that.
Yeah, I
Kind of what
think
they
so.
do along the highway.
Yeah.
But they just wanted to bring it to our attention.
Okay.
Also, folks out on 12th Road and Keystone Edition said it's, I've had people sending me pictures of how dusty it is. It looks like they're in the middle of a forest fire. I went out there and drove around on my motorcycle a little bit today. It is indeed, whatever that rock is just chalky, dusty, dustier than the average rock.
Have they thrown new rock on this year?
It's
Or not?
really
That our rock
gray.
is-
So if you look at the trees and things along the road,
Right,
it's,
but is that our rock?
that's what I was
Where,
gonna
where,
say.
where
one
at
of
the,
those.
the dirt road?
Between Mick Keating's and Keystone Road is
I don't-
where it's the worst.
That's,
I don't think
that's
that's
our road.
township, or township.
Township road.
Township.
Well, I'll make sure to pass that along. I didn't think we probably put that rock
They-
there, but it is
No.
chalky.
They can stop it if they dump sand into it.
Well, they can do that, or they can, what they're playing with now is asphalt millings.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not a good situation.
Limestone rock.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact that
And on streets, is there a schedule for the street sweeper? I mean, do you guys keep a map of where the street sweepers went so that people know? I mean,
I don't
do you
know if
mark
they-
down where the street sweeper's been?
No, but typically it's either one or two guys that do it and go out. We don't have a map of where they go.
Well, I mean, then you can have them keep a map and have them so you can show people. Then, so they know where they've been. People want to know where it's been. I mean, then you know. I mean, so the street sweep, I mean, that shouldn't be that hard to put on the city map where the street sweeper's been out.
Good idea.
I mean, people claim that the street sweeper hasn't been on their streets for,
Well, and it depends
Forever.
if there's something, they go down Mine Street every once in a while, but I got vehicles parked there, so unfortunately they can't clean. I'd like to have all my vehicles
Well-
moved, but they're not, so they can't clean it.
I know.
And that's my fault, that's not.
I know,
not
but
their
people are
fault.
claiming that they haven't been on their street, period. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I know they come by my house too, but they haven't been there for a long time. I'm not saying they've never been on my street, but people say they haven't been on their street, period. So, I mean, if they could come down here and you could say, we know that the street sweeper's been on this street, show them the map, on the map where it's been. I mean, then you got proof.
The proof is when the weeds are gone.
Yeah. Anyway, if the street sweeper people put it on there, then you know where it is then, so. And then on streets also, Lois Cohor said that on Elm Street, between 10th and 11th, right in front of their house or whatever, right in the middle of the street, there's almost like a pothole in the bricks. So apparently it's a big hole.
And it was on what street? Sorry?
Between
Elm
10th and
Street.
11th Street on Elm.
Elm Street, okay. Between 10th and 11th.
10th and 11th in front of Jim and Lois Cohor's house. I don't know what the address is, but
right next to the big red brick house on the corner, it's the
The
next
push
one.
house?
It used to be the library.
no, it's in the middle of the block.
That's, oh, in the middle of the block.
In the middle of the block, not in front of the push house, in front of
Okay.
Jim and Lois Cohor's.
That's what I
The
was
old
trying to
library.
tell him. The old library is where Jim
Yeah.
and Lois.
Oh, well, he
Cohor's
was
lived.
saying in front of the push house. I thought that, yeah.
No, I said the push house
she's-
next door to it.
Oh, okay.
We're all in the right block. It's
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
You guys got
In the middle of the block.
Yeah.
If it's that bad, we'll see it if we get on the right block.
Yeah. Well, if
Yeah.
you, yeah.
We'll get a ticket made for that.
Well, it's probably about like this, you know, it's not a big, but, you know,
Yeah.
and it's getting to be a sinkhole and it's getting worse, so. it
Hard to
needs-
crawl out of.
Yeah, it's getting there. Okay,
Anything else on the street?
You ready now?
I'm ready.
On this street sweeper thing,
Uh-huh.
let's look at some technology.
Something to plug in?
Something that can kind of, lack of the correct words, let's track the machine and plot its route and
Spot
see
tracking.
how we can make ourselves better and more efficient and burn less fuel and set the dump trucks in the right places it needs to dump. And now, with that being said, Austin, we also can look at that for the dump trucks for when it comes to plow truck time. Let's embrace technology and not be afraid of it.
It has to go to the dump.
No, they set the dump trucks around to dump into it.
Dump the sweet swoop around. They have to dump it.
But anyways,
Yeah.
let's look into the tracking
Look
stuff.
into some technology. There's
Yeah.
gotta be something.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here thinking, I think the map's a great idea. I think we're gonna lose time somewhere by the time you sit down with guys and try and draw one out, and
Yeah.
Gonna
then
take-
somebody goes, this is more effective, and I just think laying it out there is a way to make it.
More time efficient.
Yeah.
Tractors and everything, you can sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, they're using it in all sorts now.
Be less man hours in the long run.
Okay, no, I can look into that.
Right, anything else on street? Water, wastewater?
How's Deep Creek coming?
I think they were connecting some service lines, still digging holes to get it done. I don't know how much longer they have, but they're getting
All
there.
the main lines are in
Yeah.
and valves and all that, it's just household connections.
Yes, they were working on household connections. I don't think there's any main stuff left. I think there was something by the hospital that still needed to be done, but they're marching right along. He's itching to get back to hometown, to his hometown, because he's got a big water project there too.
There too?
So, yeah, they're getting stuff done.
Okay. I just see them up there with their two backhoes every day going when I go to therapy. And
Yeah. Anything else on water, wastewater? Parks and Rec?
I don't know if this is under Parks and Rec, but I try to go to the library meeting, which is the fourth Wednesday, and this, which is some of the information they passed out. You might look at it, some of the different programs and their budget. So you might just look at all the different, and pass it around. I didn't make copies of everything. Just, they got lots of neat programs they got going on, so if you want to pass it around for everybody to look at.
Sure. Right. Anything else on Parks and Rec?
On the disc golf course, is there any spot on there where they have to throw across the street or anything?
There was one. I don't think they removed that. Did they ever move that?
No, they never moved it.
Basket? I don't think they did.
It's still across,
Yeah.
hole number 2, I think.
But I don't think it hasn't been an issue that I know of, so.
Well, I couldn't hear you, Jason.
I don't think it's been an issue, other than, maybe every once in a while when they have a tournament would be about the
Except
only
it's a
time.
violation. We have a violation that you can't throw across the right of way in this town.
Except it's not a right-of-way.
It's, what do you-
It's park. In fact, the right-of-way for the park ends, for 8th Street, ends right about here, up by the pool. There's no street right-of-way in the park.
It's like an access road or something.
It's an access road. There's no, there's only one right-of-way in the park, and it leads to the end
I was
of
just wondering about
the
that,
pool.
if it, if it was,
There was,
could do it or can't do it.
there was that one, and they talked about moving, that basket, but I don't think they did. And like I say, it hasn't been
It's still there, I've seen them when I was walking in the pool.
And throwing a frisbee, whoever throws the frisbee and hits something, someone, or anything, they're liable, and not anybody else. So if somebody chooses to throw across that access road, while a car's going, they pay for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on Parks and Rec? Cemetery and Airport?
You know, what's the word on that one airport hangar that really needs to be taken down?
He
I
hasn't
don't
done
know.
anything.
I don't know where we're at on that. I know that, now we notified them, didn't we, that they had to bring those things
Well, we sent
up
out
to
the
par, or we?
letter that,
Mhm.
your new contract, and we didn't get any information back from anybody. They didn't
So how
Approve the
long do we have
contract.
to wait before we can really
Well,
take
basically
action?
I'll have Will
Leaks.
check back with them.
Yeah.
I think it's a nuisance violation, it's just like in town. I think it's-
Yeah, we'll have Will check back with them.
Well, she, Harold got some back corner or something.
Okay, anything else on cemetery and airport? Police and fire? Yes.
Where are we at on the concrete for the fire station?
I don't think they've started.
They
pouring
haven't
that yet,
started,
have
I'm
they?
not sure when they're gonna pour that.
Hopefully before it gets too cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This month?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They haven't updated me on that. They've been working on all the inside, painting and stuff like that. I haven't seen them do too much work, but I can check back with them.
Well, we need to put them on notice. They should get it done this month, I hope, because it needs to be done before it gets too cold.
Well, we paid to have that water line put in because we didn't want to hold them up,
That's right.
so. And I'm not saying, I don't realize that they have a lot of projects going on right
Well,
now.
I know, but the fire said, we
so-
need to get this concrete in before it gets too cold. That's all- what,
Yes.
the inside stuff they can do, but the concrete needs to be done. We can get some pretty cold weather in September yet.
We can?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hope so.
Hey, can we ask Deep Creek to put in water meter pits for us?
We have gotten them to do a few, yes.
Yeah, can they do a few more? Some people have waited 7 years, are getting a
Our
little
guys
angry.
were putting in a pit today that was one that was on, been on the list for quite a while, a couple of pits.
Well, I'm gonna be real honest, I've thought about it long and hard, and we're paying them a good wage, we're giving them good equipment. I expect production to come up. I don't understand how it's not getting done, so that's where I'm at on it. I think people that have waited 7 years is ridiculous. And there's people waiting longer than that. I'm kinda the same way about the street. I don't know why we've screwed around to not get it sealed, but they need to get motivated and get done. No, it's ridiculous. I've heard every excuse. I've not seen a little bit more production.
Okay. Anything else on police and fire? Admin and finance? Yes, Diane?
I don't know whose responsibility it was, but I was downtown for the 9/11. And when I walked downtown, they wanted to know why the flags weren't at half-mast at the Pony Park and at the Main Street office. Now, I told them the Main Street office was not our responsibility, that wasn't the city's. So somebody went ahead and took the flag down there because it's on a lanyard and they could go ahead and lower it. But the city's has a key. And I think they finally, I don't know, somebody, I guess, got a hold of Dom, I guess. I don't have his phone number. I think I called Jason, but you didn't answer your phone.
I was out of town, all day, so.
But,
I didn't see a missed call from you, but that doesn't
okay,
mean.
well, that doesn't,
a lot of times
I don't
get good
know. But
reception.
anyway, somehow or another, the city's flag at the Pony Park was not at half-mast. So,
And I heard about that, and I apologize for not having that getting done. We must have been moving bleachers and getting everything else set up for the gravel dash that we missed that detail.
yeah, but it looked kind of bad when the city flag was not at half-mast, when everybody else's was at half-mast. So anyway, from now on, when we have something, or we need to have somebody that has responsibility for the key, or gets left or something, we need to, I don't know. But anyway, I walked downtown and I get jumped. There's nothing I can do about it because I don't have the key and I don't know how to get a hold of anybody, so. I don't know if you were in town or not, but by the time I went back around and left downtown, then it was, apparently I'd gotten done, so, but I had to walk back up the street again, and then, somebody had found somebody, I guess. I don't know if Dom did it or who did it, I don't know, but anyway. But we need to be sure that, maybe we need to make a list of things that need to be taken care of when things are going on, especially on the weekend. I know during the week, the offices, the city offices are open, but on weekends, we got to be darn sure we get these things taken care of, so make a list or something.
There's a lot going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I realize that, but that's very important, that things like that need to be taken care of. Okay. And then, and health officer, somebody said Dr. Rice maybe would be interested in
I
it?
had a conversation with her today, and tomorrow they have I think a staff meeting, and she was gonna talk to some of the doctors up there and see if anybody's interested in doing it. So that's kind of where we're at on that. She said she would call me, tomorrow, hopefully, and let me know what she'd found out. So.
Okay.
Anything else on admin and finance? Okay. Appointments and wage determinations, there's a few appointments on there for the planning commission, and.
Move to approve any commission appointments?
Okay.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next up, we have the zoning board of appeals.
Move to approve zoning board of appeals appointments?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 7-0. City attorney is not here. You have any reason to go into executive session or anything?
I wouldn't mind executive session.
Okay.
It's coming.
I can't remember that number.
Get it right so we're not in violation.
I understand. I move the city council recess into executive session to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel, discussion on specific personnel matters, not general personnel policies, exception KSA 75-4319B1. This session will include the mayor, city council members, and city administrator. The open meeting will return in the city council chamber at 8:45, so 15 minutes.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
Wednesday and bought one Friday. Just a little bigger than the one you had.
Yeah, it's not new.
We're back
It's not like
up
I
and
want
running.
I really
Online.
want it new, but
Okay, Todd's not back yet,
the
but
money
That's
did
all
not.
right. You better.
call this meeting back to order. No binding decisions were made. Let's move on to the next business. Does anybody need to have another executive session or anything, or?
I do not.
Okay. Is Todd good?
I don't know.
He's
Wait
coming
for him
back.
to come back.
He's coming back.
Are you good?
You need another executive session?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. Roundtable. Todd?
Nope, nothing.
Diane?
Yes. The Walnut Hills, I hope you all got a chance to go to the Walnut Hills, and I want to thank all the volunteers. I know the people that worked on it really appreciated all of the volunteers, the people that were in charge of it really, really appreciated it. They said this was probably one of the better groups they've ever had. They thought Marysville was a wonderful place, and it was a very rewarding experience. I worked up there for quite some time and about every day, and you met some wonderful, wonderful people that came through, and the school kids. They had over 1,000 school kids that came through from all over the county and out of the county, and they had, well, as Dean said, they had close to 8,900 people that came through, they estimate. And so, I mean, if you didn't volunteer, you really missed something, because it was great to have the people that came through that thanked you for volunteering and stuff. It was just, I mean, it was just,
Parade was cool coming into town.
yeah, it was just an awesome experience all the way around. So I enjoyed it immensely. So it was hotter than heck up there, but and at night was great. It was beautiful at night. If you got to see it in the evening after dark with the lights on, it was great. And the mornings was nice. It was during the day it was really hot. So thank you.
Terry?
I'm good.
Nothing. Keith?
Just sorry to hear about your dad, Todd. That's all I got.
Parker?
I'm good tonight.
I'm good.
Good. Kevin?
Grass is coming in downtown, those
Looking
business
good.
lots real well.
Oh, yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. We kinda got pushed into the grass, but we owned it, so, cause rain came sooner than we thought. But our guys, to their credit, thought ahead and put some sprinklers down there, so it should hold out.
Looks real nice in there now.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
That's all I have, sir.
It's gonna be nice when it
I don't have anything.
What are we going to do about the wall? We didn't discuss doing the,
Well, I mean,
Are
that's
we-
not our wall. It's,
I know, but did Austin talk
businesses.
to?
Yes.
Hendricks, he ain't gonna do that.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
know.
talked with them. They discussed multiple options, but I mean,
No
told-
update.
No, I don't know where he's at, or if he's just gonna sit on it.
Well, they reduced the overall amount that they charge us by, what was it?
1,500 bucks.
So, I mean, we've got 1,500 left over that, I guess we'll see what he wants, what he wants to do. We'll see what he wants to do with it. I don't know if he wants to come to council and talk to us about it, or,
If we have to put a little bit of skin in the game to make it what we
well,
want,
that's where
that
I'm
might
at.
be worthwhile.
I don't see why you couldn't shot create it or gunite it personally.
I mean, and he's talked about that too, so, again, he approached me, I told him where we were sitting at, and that, it probably needs to be adjusted. And even if he fixes that wall, he needs to do something to the brick on the front.
Yeah, there's some
No matter
structure.
what we did, as it regards to the buildings that we took down, we didn't touch that brick wall on the front, and it's in dire need of some help.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.